term for politicians seizing private property to enrich the fat cats who bankroll them, like Trump.
I think eminent domain is wonderful.
It made him rich, like when Trump colluded with Atlantic City insiders to bulldoze the home of an elderly widow for a limousine parking lot at his casino.
He doesn't have no heart, that man.
Trump won't change the system. He's what's wrong with it.
I'm Ted Cruz, and I approve this message.
Wow, things really heating up in the Republican race. That's Ted Cruz and his latest ad against Donald Trump. Iowa looms just a few days away, so how effective might these ads turn out to be? Let's call on our political panel. From Newsmax, New York, noted radio and TV commentator Ellis Henican, who tends to see things left of center. And joining us from the Newsmax newsroom, guts up conservative and former chief of staff to Congressman Walter B. Jones of North Carolina, Glen Downs. So Glen, there is Cruz on the attack of Trump. Now, the other night we heard that Cruz had a comfortable lead in Iowa. Turning this thing around, does that mean the numbers might be changing in favor of Trump?
Well, listen, JD, absolutely. There's a sort of a series of sub races going on here. You have the overall race, but then you have the sub races going on between different people competing for sub pockets of voters. So, for example, right now, one of those sub races is between Cruz and Trump.
Yeah, but that's the most prominent race because in Iowa, they're at the top of the ticket. So I don't know if we can really call it a sub race. I guess it is like a subplot, and I see what you're saying, but Let me let you finish up. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So that is the one we're watching right now. Let me turn to Ellis Henican, though, because, Ellis, it must delight you when Republicans attack each other. Given the ferocity of what's going on now between Trump and Ted, is it conceivable they can reconcile and become a national ticket in some way, shape, fashion, or form?
Can this marriage be saved? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
I don't think so, JD. Listen, those of us who enjoy this stuff, and I know the three of us all fall into that category, part of what we like is the theater of politics, right? I mean, what you say it, how you stick the knife and twist it in the other guy. And let me tell you, we have been getting a Broadway quality performance the last few weeks from the Republicans. Yes, I have been cheering from the very front row.
Well, taking Glen's point, Mr. Downs, about sub-races, there is a subplot, a sub-race, Jeb Bush trying to reestablish himself as the establishment standard bearer, and he has called on family for help in his latest ad. Let's take a look and listen.
Jeb has been a very good father, a wonderful son, a hard worker. His heart is big. When push comes to shove, people are going to realize Jeb has real solutions rather than talking about how popular they are, how great they are. He's doing it because he sees a huge need and it's not being filled by anybody. Of all the people running, he seems to be the one who could solve the problems. I think he'll be a great president.
Glenn, a lot of people love Barbara Bush, but was it wise to put her on an ad, or does that just reinforce a family dynasty angle on this?
Well, frankly, I thought that's sort of an act of political desperation. Now, it doesn't make any sense to me because if Jeb Bush doesn't already have Bush family loyalists voting for him, he's in big, big trouble, maybe bigger trouble than we realize. So for people that are looking for change, I don't think that was a very smart move at all.
Well, of course, Ellis, we go back and Barbara speaks off the cuff. It's one of the things people like about her. And you'll recall early on, she said, maybe it's not such a good idea. Do you think Jeb thought it was wise to put Mom on the record saying, look, my son can be a good president?
I love Barbara Bush, right? How do you not like her? And think about it from Jeb's point of view, right? What else does he have, right? Nothing he's tried is working. Frankly, Barbara's not likely to work. I just think the sad truth of the matter from Jeb's point of view is that this is not the year for him.
Timing is vitally important in politics, heck, in life, and it's not to disparage former Governor Bush in any way. But it is interesting to watch Barbara Bush because our perception, Glenn, I mean, when you hear her with her presentation and that soothing voice, For a lot of people, it does offer the power of personal testimony. But Glenn, you still see this as an act of desperation.
Well, I frankly do. I mean, what she may do is to help get some of the people that were voting for some of the other more establishment-oriented candidates taking a second look at Jeb. But the big message in this primary has been so far, we want to turn away from the past and go towards the future. And Barbara Bush being there doesn't do anything to address that to help Mr. Bush, the current candidate.
But of course, we have made news during this particular portion of our program as Ellis Henican is on the record saying he really likes Barbara Bush. And Ellis, we will agree with that to quite a degree, as a matter of fact. Hey, it's great to have you both. Ellis, thanks for your time. Glenn, stick around. We've got more ahead on Newsmax Prime, 43rd anniversary of Roe v. Wade.